Hey there, Taurus. I just had an awful time through this eclipse season. And I'm still picking up the pieces, and I believe a lot of other people are as well. Now my other channel, the Brothers of the Sword Productions, now has another video out about the Black Madonna decoding and the Black Madonna mystery. And this is connected to the Oak Island in a really funny way. And if you're interested, there's a link down below in the description box. Now you have a love reading, or you have a lot of cups in emotion reading, and I think this is just kind of, we're having some home changes and some relationship changes and some perspective changes about home and relationships. But things are happening the way they should be. The rune card that you received is Algiz. And the Norse believed if you saw a white elk, it brought the power of the divine to you. And the actual symbol itself is like a little fork, is depicting the elk's antlers. And they believe it's just holding your hands up to the divine, welcoming and praying for the protection of the divine, from the divine. It's saying it's like a destined path that you're walking down right now. The Minchiati card that came out for you was Gemini. It's about intellect. It's about having two sides to things, and I think that's what's going on in this reading too, is that there's going to be a flip side to everything that you do. But this can bring on moodiness, and you Taurians do have a propensity for that sometimes when things just don't work out right. Now the first overall energy card that you received was the Six of Pentacles. This is a giving and receiving card, finding a balance with it, being generous but not overly generous to people that should be doing things for themselves. There's no reason that you can't help other people. It's just that you don't want to be exploited either. You know, in a relationship, there's a giver and a taker, and a lot of times someone gives more and the other one takes more. And there isn't a balance there. You know, the taker has to learn how to reciprocate. Everyone should learn how to give without desire, but a lot of times it feels good when someone comes back and says, yeah, you did this for me, so no, I'm going to do that for you. Now this idea of providence from the Algiz Rune comes in with the Eight of Wands that's right next to the Six of Pentacles. I picked 2 overall energy cards this month. Yeah, this is saying things are just falling into place, but it's a very positive card. I like to think of it as like a puzzle. And you've already put the frame together, and now all you have to do is put the pieces from the center together. Things are falling into place. This is a card about traveling, news and messages, having smoother transitions during upheaval times and changes. 8 is the number of karmic equilibrium. It brings things of the divine with the physical, and it balances it out. The intangible with the tangible. Spirit, body, and mind are starting to reconnect, all on the present level. If you don't find the present level, and you're living in the past or looking anxiously to the future, you're not grabbing the golden ring for what's going on in life this very moment and seizing the day, seizing the moment, seizing the second. Because every moment does count. Now the cards on the left, for what you know, receive the Queen of Cups and the Two of Cups. This is the what you know category, and the Queen of Cups is about intuition. You know a lot of things intuitively lately. And the Two of Cups is the Lover's minor arcana version of the Lover's card. 2 love cards, 2 emotion cards. The Queen there is to make you understand your emotions, evaluate them, review them, and determine if they're the right emotions for what the situation calls for. The Two of Cups is a card about decision making. Any two is. But I think a lot of times during this eclipse season, there was a lot of indecision going on. And the funny thing about that is it is a decision to not make a decision. Sometimes you're just letting things go. The Queen of Cups is saying, listen to your inner voice. Start reacting from that. This is where she's going to bring some collective understanding together, because with this 8 of Wands up there, there's going to be some unexpected and quickly unfolding things happening. And you're going to have to kind of juggle these around. And the cards next door, for what is or can be yours, is the King of Cups and the Ace of Cups. So you've got the King and Queen of Cups. We have the nurturing aspect to it, as well as taking control and command of your life. The King wants you to do that. Master your emotions. Master your sentiments. Mature in your relationships with other people. The Queens bring understanding, and the Kings help you acquire your long-term goals. And here with the Ace of Cups, it's saying, it's emotional goals that you've been setting. You've been looking over the horizon for some changes, a reset in your emotions and your perspective. A lot of times everything is about perspective. Sometimes it's an illusion too, but here it's giving you a promise of a new beginning for emotional change. Maybe that's why you got the Gemini too, because that's swords. It doesn't really draw into the emotion aspect. It wants you to be the king, the person that's in control and command. Now the cards next door for your awareness or self-awareness, receive the Hermit and the 5 of Wands. Now the 5 of Wands is a conflict card. A lot of times you're struggling inside. I call it struggling in darkness. You can't seem to make any decisions. You can't seem to feel comfortable with the paths you're taking and the decisions that you're making. That's why the Hermit is there. He wants you to go inside yourself and figure this all out. Problems usually don't come from the outside. They come from the inside first and are then manifested from your behavior that goes out into the big bad world. A lot of times the Hermit requires you to shed some desires that you had. They had no value, no significance in your life. Sometimes you were aiming for some kind of goal that just wasn't worth it. You have to readjust. Do some soul searching. It's a difficult exercise to do candid soul searching, but it needs to be done, and done often. The Hermit is about Virgo too. It's very detail oriented, and maybe sometimes there is the devil in the details, and you get mired and mucked up in the details too much, and you're not really seeing the trees from the forest. Now, I don't know why I kind of went out of control in September with the future cards and really pulled a lot of them for some reason. And you received the 2 of Cups, the 7 of Wands, the Strength card, the Queen of Swords, and the Hanged Man. This is kind of a review of all that I said just recently here. You received the 2 of Cups again. Now it's giving you a new opportunity to make some new decisions in the future. about your love, affections, your emotions, sensuality, finding yourself with the senses, discovering them again. That Ace of Cups back there wants you to discover your sensuality again. Make some decisions about it. Find some partnership. And find some balance. Because that's what the Six of Pentacles wants you to do as well. Now you have the Seven of Wands there. Another Wands card that's about disagreements. You know, a lot of times when you're disagreeing with people, you have to represent what you believe. And while you're doing that, a lot of times you go, do I really believe that? There has been some struggle in darkness. There has been some struggles outside and discord between people. Maybe work, family, friends, lovers. Everything hasn't gone as smoothly as you'd like. That's why you have the Strength card up there. You have to face all of this. You know, we're taming the beast within ourselves, as well as recognizing what kind of beasts are within other people. What kind of faux pas are they doing emotionally, behaviorally? Now this is where the Gemini aspect comes in, because you have the Queen of Swords, and Swords oversees Gemini. And this is about taking control of things, not using your emotions all the time to make decisions. You know, a lot of times she wants you to look ahead 3-4 moves like this is a chess game. Be prepared. Know what's going on. Get a grip on everything. You know, when you make all of your decisions with emotions, usually you get yourself in a lot of trouble. And the Hangman's there. You know, a lot of times he's saying that there's going to be some kind of sacrifice involved. And really, usually with the Six of Pentacles there is, because it's the giving and receiving card. And you got the Two of Cups cards too about love. There's sacrifice all the time in love. It's a give and take. This is a compromise time. The Hangman's there saying, yeah, it's like the Hermit card back there. You know, you have to look at things, review things, soul search a little bit. Make sure that you're right before you start responding to things in the outside world. Because if you can't give love, you can't accept it either. The Hangman is about looking at things with new perspectives. This is where I like to say, you know, quit putting a round peg in a square hole kind of thing, because it just never works. And if you notice, the very last card is the Hermit right next to the Hanged Man. 2 timeout cards together. But the Hangman and the Hermit bring wisdom if you've been listening to your inner self, from that Queen of Cups back there that says you've got the intuition and the inner voice going on, and maybe even some synchronicities. Synchronicities is about timing. It's about events and things coming in at the right time in the right place. That comes right in with that Algiz Rune, which is about providence and the divine. Now you just have to have the courage with the Strength card there to know thyself. And I wish you acceptance, peace, and happiness.